After the big surprise this morning regarding Myles Garrett and his contract extension, I've seen a ton of chatter online about what are the Browns going to do next, right? Are they going to make a big move in free agency at quarterback? Did Garrett agree to an extension because he caught wind, or he was just flat out told, we're going to do this? Would that make you reconsider your trade request? I don't think that is likely what contributed to this. In fact, the theory that I'm going with moving forward as to how Myles went from requesting a trade on February 3rd to agreeing to a massive extension on March 9th is he tried to meet with Jimmy Haslam. He was shot down. Haslam said, you're going to talk to Andrew Berry. And it was at that point Myles came to the realization they're really not going to trade me. I mean, they said that a million times at the combine, but they are dug in. And so I'm left with very few good options. I can hold out, I can rack up a ton of fines and hope that they trade me, or I can start a holdout, end it, and not accomplish much at all. Or, and this is the option I think he picked, I can sign an extension, get a boatload of new money, do it before free agency to try and help lure free agents to Cleveland, knowing that I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. And while I don't really want to be here, / I still don't think that this is a team that's going to be a contender or going in the right direction, if I am going to be here because they won't trade me, I might as well make an extra $123 million in the process. So in fewer words, he sold out. So we're going to look at some big moves the Browns could make after making this extension. Some of it I could see happening. Some of it I could not see happening. But we are losing in subscribers for the month of March so far to the Ravens channel with a slight lead over the Bengals channel. So if you're looking for a Browns YouTube channel that'll keep you up to speed during all free agency, consider subscribing. If you don't like the content, you can always unsubscribe after a couple of days. So after the first, I won't say domino, maybe the second domino. The first domino was Stafford staying in LA. The next domino is Geno Smith getting traded to the Raiders from Seattle. A lot of Browns fans are starting to wonder, all right, with Myles coming back to Cleveland, does that mean a trade like this or bigger than this is in the works? And I went through all 32 starting quarterbacks and even some backups to try and figure out the Browns have been known to be pretty under the radar. They weren't publicly in on Deshaun Watson for a very long time. They were not publicly known to be interested in Brandon Ayuk until the last couple of weeks. They like to operate on a lower key basis, so maybe there is a quarterback trade that they told Myles we're about to pull off, and if we do, would you want to come play for us then? And I came up with nothing. There was a couple of names I was pulling teeth for, like Justin Herbert, but the Chargers aren't going to trade Justin Herbert, and I don't think I need to explain why. The only ounce of reasoning as to why they might consider it is the way Harbaugh runs the offense. It doesn't require a super expensive quarterback, but it's still the NFL. It's not college football. You need a good quarterback. I thought maybe Tua with the injuries, but the Browns are not going to trade for a quarterback who stinks in the cold. At least I don't believe so or hope not. Brock Purdy is looking for a new deal, but I'm pretty confident the Niners are going to get that done. So I came up with hey, we just saw Geno get traded. What's another quarterback that could get traded? I mean, maybe Kirk Cousins, but I don't think that carries the same oomph factor as Geno, which didn't have a ton of oomph to begin with. So another option could be Sam Darnold. Does not appear that he is coming back to Minnesota. It looks like the Vikings are going to run with J.J. McCarthy. Darnold's going to get between $40 to $45 million a season in free agency. I thought the Raiders would be a likely destination for him, but that hole is vacant. That hole is filled now with Geno Smith in town. So watch for the Seahawks to make a big push for Darnold. But between you and me, I don't think Darnold's going to end up in Cleveland. And that's primarily because there's been so little chatter around the Browns even kicking the tires on Darnold. I just don't think they want to spend $40 to $45 million on a new veteran quarterback. I think they are looking for a cheaper bridge option, see what they can find in the draft, and likely find the long-term quarterback next offseason because there's no good options in free agency this year. And my opinion, there is not a lot of good options in the upcoming draft. Now, as for the thought of wonder if Myles came back because the Browns agreed, we'll go take a quarterback at number 2. Because I think we can all agree that Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, like him or not, they definitely inspire more hope than Daniel Jones. That's just the way first-round quarterbacks work. Doesn't matter how good or bad they were in college, whether or not you think they're going to be a good pro or not. There's something about a first-round quarterback that can just give every single fan more belief than 28-year-old bridge journeyman quarterback. I don't think the Browns operated in a way where they let Garrett bully them or peer pressure them into taking a quarterback at number 2. If the Browns end up taking one of these two guys in the first round, I am not going to say, you see right there, that's because Myles came back. No. I refuse to believe that the Browns are an organization that's run by Garrett's request to stay in Cleveland. So, possible, but it would just be a coincidence if the Browns go quarterback after bringing back Myles or extending Myles. So with that, I want to transition to some other quarterbacks the Browns could be looking at. I don't know if you'd call these big moves. Big move would be a trade that I don't see happening. But Mary Kay did put out a couple of quarterbacks that are on the Browns' radar. And let's start with our old friend, Joe Flacco. And old friend is an expression, but in this case, I mean it literally. Joe's old. He's 40 years old. And if you caught him playing for the Colts last year, he had some good moments, but he didn't quite look as good as 2023 Flacco. Now, here's what Mary Kay wrote. Flacco wanted to re-sign with Cleveland last season, but the Browns never made him an offer, opting for the younger Jameis Winston. Flacco would come at the right price point and already knows the scheme, the coaches, and players. I do not see Flacco coming back to the Browns. Why is that? It would be a ginormous admission of guilt from Cleveland to go, we didn't bring back Flacco last offseason. Despite us saying to the media, we would like to have Joe come back. We never even made him a contract offer because we were worried that the fan base would start chanting, Flacco, 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 the moment Watson started to struggle a little bit. So we just removed that possibility altogether and never brought him back. And that was not a good decision. For them this offseason to go, yeah, now we want to bring back Flacco. That doesn't line up. What in Flacco do you see now that you didn't see last offseason? He's not going to be more expensive or more cheaper. It's going to be the same price point, give or take $500,000. So I don't see the Browns swallowing their pride and going, yeah, it was a mistake to not re-sign Flacco. We are going to try that again this offseason. Now that he's a whole year older and he's 40, this is the time to do it. No, I don't see it happening. But I'll let you guys weigh in down below in the comments. Do you want the Browns to re-sign Joe Flacco? I think it's one of those fun, I wouldn't even say in theory, because I think it could have some positive effects on the field. But I think it's more of a fun offseason idea than in practice when Flacco starts to really look his age and that 2023 magic isn't quite there. I'd rather just keep that part of Flacco's memory untouched. And just remember 2023 Joe and leave it at that because I don't think we're getting that guy in 2025. Moving on to the next free agent QB. This one's got an asterisk next to it. It's Kirk Cousins. He is not a free agent yet. As I'm filming this, Sunday evening, Cousins still on the Falcons roster, but I expect that to change sometime in the next few days. He actually got to meet with his team's owner, Arthur Blank, and he talked about wanting to go somewhere else to play for a different team to have a chance of starting again. And the Falcons said they are going to do what's best for the team. I do not believe it would be wise for Atlanta to bring back a quarterback who doesn't want to be there and have that quarterback in a role where he is a support system for your young QB and Michael Penix. And I believe Atlanta will come to that conclusion as well. Now, he's got a $10 million roster bonus due on March 17th. So, Atlanta could release him before then and save owner Arthur Blank $10 million. It does not impact the salary cap. It's just a direct deposit from Arthur Blank's wallet to Kirk Cousins' wallet. They could hold on to him beyond that and eat that money, and that could help maybe facilitate a trade. If they go, we want to trade you, we're not going to cut you, so we'll eat the $10 million, and we'll see how the draft goes, because maybe a team that's banking on getting a quarterback doesn't, and they decide, well, if we couldn't draft him, we'll call up Atlanta and we'll get Kirk Cousins. Or they could wait till August, and a quarterback could get injured, and they give Atlanta a call then and offer up a draft pick. I think one way or another, Kirk Cousins is going to get off the Falcons roster. How soon that happens, I won't say anything with like 100% certainty, but I'm leaning more towards a release before March 17th. And if that happens, he's going to do the same exact thing Russell Wilson did last year, which is sign somewhere else for the vet minimum, because he has a $27.5 million base salary for this year, and someone's paying that. Either Atlanta's paying for it or the next team is. So why go to a new team and sign a $10 million contract and save the Falcons $10 million? No, it's like a coach's buyout. Instead, you sign for the vet minimum, and the Falcons pay $25 million, and your new team pays $2.5 million. Now, as for Cousins, the quarterback, as we put the contract side stuff to the side, it was a bad ending. That I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to get anyone, amnesia and forget all about it. He threw 1 touchdown and 9 interceptions, and it was awful. There is no sugarcoating it. The only thing that I can sell myself on is when Cousins told the world during Super Bowl week that he played through a shoulder and elbow injury during that 4-game losing streak. It made sense to me, because you can't say, oh man, Cousins is washed after the Achilles injury. No, he played really well to start the year. I've never heard an injury where you get injured, you come back and you look good, and then the injury takes its toll at the end. That's backwards. So I think there's a lot of credibility to, he suffered a shoulder elbow injury. He's getting old for sure, so that injury really impacted him more so now at 36 than it did maybe at 26. And he did not want to go to the bench and do what was probably best for the team, because he knew if Michael Penix came on the field, he would never step off the field. So he played through the injury, and he sucked, and he anchored down his team, and it was a selfish move, but it was one that was best for himself. I still believe Cousins is going to leave Atlanta, and if/when that happens, I think the Browns are going to have a lot of interest. They don't have, endless money to spend in free agency. They have to be somewhat calculated. And I believe that a $1.5-2 million vet minimum deal, he doesn't have to be your starter. But for what you're paying him, knowing the ceiling and the history of Kirk Cousins, could end up being some really good value right there. Now, I know not everyone's on board with Kirk because of the way he played at the end of last year. All I'd ask you is this. If you know there's going to be a quarterback competition and other quarterbacks will be signed and drafted, what's the harm to giving him $2 million in one of your 90 roster spots? If he sucks in training camp and preseason, you cut him. What are you out? $2 million? I'm not seeing the downside. The downside would be you don't sign a different veteran free agent quarterback, which I guess could be a fair point, but there are a bunch of really good options in free agency that they're going to be missing out on. Oh, no, they don't get Jarrett Stidham now. Come on. So moving on here, some other free agent QBs that the Browns could be taking a big swing for. How about Gardner Minshew? The Raiders are going to release Minshew. That will happen on March 12th, the first day of the new league year. These are one of those just formalities based on the way the league year, the league calendar works. But some background on Minshew. He only played 1 year of his 2-year, $25 million contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, which he started 9 games for. He got benched. He kind of got banged up as well. It was just bad altogether. Now, he's had some good days, and Minshew, if you look over his numbers, you'd probably be surprised at how much better they are than you're picturing in your head. But I feel like Minshew is a quarterback who's best off the bench without the expectations of being a starter. He's a fun quarterback. Like, that's really the easiest way to put it. He might be like the white Jameis Winston, where you don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to be entertained. And I don't mind having an entertaining quarterback when, look around, there's not a lot of good options here. I'm not trying to sell options as these are guys that are going to help win the Browns playoff games this year. No, you're in a bad spot from a timing perspective. You're looking for a quarterback when there's no good quarterbacks in free agency. And in my opinion, there's no franchise quarterbacks in the draft. So you got to make do here. And making do with Minshew, you could do worse. 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions with the Colts when he replaced Anthony Richardson. I think he'd be a fun addition to the locker room. I don't think he'd be someone that helps the Browns hoist the Lombardi in 3 or 4 years, but I'm just trying to find the best scenario, best possibility in a bad scenario and bad situation you are in right now. So I'm not opposed to signing Minshew. I don't expect people to look at that and go like, nah, it's going to fire me up. But someone find me a quarterback that will fire you up. On to the fourth quarterback now. Let's talk about Daniel Jones for a second. Former 6th overall pick, right, out of Duke by the New York Football Giants. Obviously, we know what happened there. Ends up getting released halfway through this year. Goes over to Minnesota. He backs up Sam Darnold for the entire season. Daniel Jones, I know I've just kind of gone on a bit of a TED Talk saying there's no good options, so we all have to kind of accept sucking it up a little bit. I don't want to suck it up for Daniel Jones. I just think he sucks. I really do think he stinks out loud. I think he's that bad that while there are not a lot of good options, I would much prefer to pass on DJ. Fifth and final quarterback, our old friend, Jacoby Brissett. Fan favorite, knows the playbook, knows this team, can step in and run Stefanski's offense. He is your PB&J. He is your safe option. He is your, we struck out on our first 2 options, and let's fall back to Brissett. And I don't think that's a bad plan. Is it a very inspiring or exciting plan? Probably not. Is it the worst plan in the world? Far from it. So I could warm up to the idea of we wanted to see if we could get Kirk Cousins. I'm thinking through the Browns lens here. We were hoping Cousins would get released. They haven't released him yet. We can't wait forever. So we're going to sign Brissett. And that's going to instantly put in some leadership, some mentorship for an upcoming rookie, and some stability, which this quarterback room desperately needs because they've had a revolving door. I mean, 2 years ago, 5 quarterbacks started. 4? Deshaun Watson, P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jeff Driscoll, Joe Flacco. 5 quarterbacks. This past season, Watson, Winston, DTR, Bailey Zappi. 4. You've had 9 quarterbacks start over the past 2 years. Wouldn't be so bad if Brissett is brought in as one of 2 veterans, and if he ends up starting week 1, you can at least kind of go, we're not about to go through a never-ending cycle of different quarterbacks week after week. All right, we're going to sign off in just a second, but which quarterback do you want the Browns to sign? Let me know in the comment section. One of the 5 guys we talked about, someone else. I would love to hear from everyone down below who you would like to see the Browns pursue. Let's pick a card to get you guys on your way this Sunday evening. Mr. Bartkus, which card do you want to go with?
Let's go with 2 of clubs because number 2 overall pick.
2 of clubs? Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go with King of Spades. No. 10 of Diamonds. That will do it for us on today's episode. Thanks for everyone that tunes in and watches all the way to the end. I will be back tomorrow for a live free agency Browns tracker, so make sure you tune in an hour before free agency begins, which is at 11 a.m. Eastern, so we'll be live, or 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern, so we'll be live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. I'm all over the place. Just tune in tomorrow morning. How about that?